Well, hello everybody. This is going to be update for February 13th of 2025. I went and purchased some Masonite hardboard. I'm going to be dismantling the Tonytown section of the layout um, this week and into next week. The reason why is because the hollow core doors that I had built the layout on, um, they're starting to sag and warp. And I believe it's because I cut the ends off of them to make them 24 to 20 inches so I would have room. Unfortunately, in hindsight, that was a bad idea, as the I don't have a planer, so I couldn't mill down lumber to make thin enough to put new boards in to go long ways. So I'm going to build some 4 foot by 20-inch deep frames, and I'm going to build Tonytown as a module. And then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to build the corners as modules, and I'm going to build the bridge as a module, and then I'm going to build Walkersville as 2 modules. So that all sounds well and good, and I would be doing this video from the shed. Unfortunately, due to the snowstorms of 3 weeks ago now, I couldn't get into the shed as I had to pile tools up at the door, as I had 2 pieces of equipment fail me. And I don't mean, oh, it's a overnight part or I can go pick it up at the store. I mean, oh, I got to special order this and it could take 2 weeks to get it. So I had to go and buy a used snowblower and order to just keep up with the workload that I had. So I was in the process of doing a lot of work on things, and parts wound up getting just put right inside the door. Unfortunately, that's also where I stock all my spare parts and everything else for my landscaping business. So when there's a backlog and I need to pull out specialty tools and everything else, it's all in that shed. That's the secondary purpose of me building that shed, was so that I had a spot to work and to keep parts and everything else. On that note, though, I will be trying to film the days that I get that are clear enough and warm enough that I can cut the lumber and build these modules, as I'm doing these modules for not only the warpage of the hollow core doors, but I'm going to use Masonite hardboard as, sorry, I'm trying to hold my phone, as my sub road bed. So that would be my structure foundations for railroad served industries, as well as a main support. And with Tonytown also having my staging yard 2 inches below it, I figured that would also be a great opportunity, as I do still have strips of Masonite that are of good quality. I'm going to electric turn out what's going to be in staging and hide it underneath Tonytown. And Tonytown will be able to be accessed by windows to the staging yard from the front. Now, it's an idea. I'm trying it out. The Masonite hardboard also will hold the pins, the track nails that I use to secure my turnout throws, which are the red caboose turnout throws. And with that, it's With the styrofoam and trying to use the Red Caboose manual ground throws, I've ran into a problem where I'll go to flip a turnout, and whether I use matte medium Mod Podge or white glue, they're not sticking to the styrofoam. And I've tried a couple other different types of glues that wound up eating the bottoms of the Red Caboose ground throws and making them useless as well as eating the styrofoam. I've tried multiple different, what they say is foam safe glues, and I can't get them to hold the Red Caboose turnout throws. So instead of fighting this problem and continuing to have things slide around or turnouts come unglued, because I only use glue very sparingly underneath them, I am going to be able to spike my track to the 1/8 inch Masonite hardboard sitting on top of the styrofoam. And Masonite does do a pretty good job of holding small tacks and small nails. So I think I'm going to solve my problem with that. Now with the rest of the layout, I'll still be using the 1/8 inch Masonite on top. I'm still using the styrofoam that I had put in there originally. It's just coming off of the old hollow core doors. I got me some chisels. I'm going to take the tops and bottoms off those hollow core doors, and those skins I will be reusing as backdrop, as they are 20 inches tall, so they're more than adequate to do a backdrop with. You know, it's still Masonite hardboard. It's just been used for a hollow core door and glued on top of what's right around 1 in, I think it's about 1 in 5/8 strip board going all the way around it, and that's about the size of a 2-inch standard board. It's just a little thinner. If I had a planer, I'd just be running 2-inch stick through a planer and planing it down to that size and sticking it in and gluing it to it. I know I could do that, but I don't own a planer, and I'm not sitting there with a manual jack plane and spending weeks trying to get just the right size, because I got to do it so many times. I'm using clear poplar 1x2s from Lowe's. They are $8 an 8-foot board and like $6 for a 6-foot board of it. I've got the design already in my head of how I'm going to deal with it, as I do want to run 1x2 stringers up the back too to hold the backdrop. There's no real complaints about this. It's just getting it done. So I'm thinking it through, and I haven't had much of a chance to actually go do what I want to do. Still got my landscaping job, and during winter, if it calls for snow, I've got to be ready for snow. I've got salt in the building. I've got everything to take care of everything in the building, including gas cans, because I need to be able to get to them. I don't like putting gas cans in buildings whatsoever, but they're in that shed because it's safe from the elements and they don't get buried in snow. I'm going to be doing the best I can to keep y'all updated. I'm sorry I missed 2 weeks ago. Happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. Y'all have a good one. I'll try to keep you updated as much as possible. Bye.